Hello everyone. I watched another episode of the Doctor Who. Now this series, which it's supposed to be series 14, and it says that series 1. So it's the first series. Now, the thing is, everyone else has done a review on this episode. Of course, there's some things that they noticed that they didn't like, and there's a couple of things like there's about one or two things that I liked, and then there's a couple of things that I didn't like. Now, I'll get into that in a minute. Now, it's meant to be series 14, right? And yet they say it's series 1. But they end up saying, oh, series 15. But anyway. Firstly, the things that I didn't like and thought were a bit silly. At the beginning of the episode, there's a guy, and they're fighting a war, right? And this guy's with some other person, and he ends up fighting, especially some war on this planet, right? And he steps on this mine, and of course the machine, he's got this machine with some woman called Susan. Apparently this Susan Twist pops up from everywhere. So he comes towards him, shoots him, and these things go into him, and he's there, and the green all the way around the landmine, it ends up going off and right. But this, and then he suddenly turns into looks like a jar or something, and falls on the ground. And then that machine goes away. You hear, ah! Next minute, another scene, the camera's on the TARDIS. The Doctor opens up the doors and says, "Did you hear that?" And comes out, runs towards where he heard the scream, not thinking that, they're on a planet, there might be some dangers, especially when there's landmines in certain places. This is how stupid this is. The Doctor always checks, right? They're on a planet, always make sure that it checks with his sonic screwdriver. Because Russell Davies thinks they are the type of sonic screwdrivers where they go like this, look like guns, that's hilarious because they don't look like guns, and ends up having this Doctor, looks like a remote control sonic screwdriver. A sonic screwdriver is the shape of a screwdriver, right? Sonic screwdriver that the 15th Doctor has is a sonic remote, right? Right? Right. Now, you see, as I said, doesn't check. He goes running towards where he heard the scream. And just as he's running towards, there's a landmine right there. And steps on it. So as you can see in the picture there, see there? Just there? There's a landmine. And see how he's standing? Right? And he's trying to keep calm and all this. Now, the episode is written by Steven Moffat. Now, of course, he's a really good writer and all that. But, as we've all seen, he thought, I'll put the doctor in a situation where doesn't know how to get out of it, in other words. Right? So, Ruby, this thing, Ruby comes out of the TARDIS, where's what? And she hears the doctor, she goes running towards where the doctor is. Yeah, and he says, yeah, okay, well, no. Of course, he wants her to go and get something to put on the landmine. It's heavy. Anyway, there's some woman with a uniform on. Oh, they're fighting a war. So, this Doctor, the 15th Doctor, has landed the TARDIS on a planet that's at war. Right? But the thing is, the woman and her team aren't fighting a real war. They're fighting against themselves, as later on the Doctor tells them. So the woman, pointing a gun at the Doctor, one is and shoots in his arm, right? And you can see that it's hurting him, right? And this is another thing. Something he says that I've got it wrong, right? Says, he says, I'm not human. I'm a Time Lord. Okay, he's a Time Lord, right? He's part human. Remember in the movie, Doctor Who movie, where the Doctor and the other woman are looking into the Eye of Harmony, right? And whatever the Doctor sees, the Master sees. And the Master says, oh, the Doctor's half human. Remember that? Half human. Right? The Doctor's got 2 hearts. Half human. Half Time Lord, half human. Right? But he keeps saying, I'm Time Lord, I'm not human. That's the one thing that's got wrong. And then hang on. Then the Doctor says, if that goes off, he'll blow up half that planet, right? So the woman drops the gun, right? And then you've got the machine shows up. And the woman's, Ruby picks up the gun, and the woman is saying, shoot me, right? So if Ruby shoots her in the arm, the machines apparently go away, right? So the next thing, another guy, her partner, comes out, sees Ruby pointing the gun at her. So what does he do? He shoots Ruby, and Ruby goes rolling down the hill. Now this is something that the Doctor always cares about his companions. And when the Doctor sees that Ruby's been shot, he wants them to help. Right? Wants them to help. Now that's always the thing that every Doctor, from past right up to now, always cares about. Right? Except for the 13th. That's got nothing. Fits anyway. So a whole lot of other machines and of course the girl's father, right? She shows up and there's a bit of talking going on, saying, where's my father? Where's my father? And he's like a hologram, and the hologram comes out of that thing. Which, that's something that they could have done a little bit better of. But I suppose they wanted to do that because it's another planet and that. Because you see, with this episode, as I said, it's on one hand it's all right, and on the other hand it's not. And I know Stephen Moffat, like, when he writes an episode, it's not usually any woke or anything political. I know probably with the other two episodes, I mean, there might, people saying that they're woke and that. But maybe this episode did, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, it just looked like the episode, it sort of wasn't, done properly, but when there's some things that, good things happening, I think, okay. And the hologram, of course, shows up again, and she's trying to distract his daughter, showing photos and all this, and they're saying, and the Doctor's trying to keep calm and all this, because he's in a situation where he's on a landmine. Of course, okay, fair enough. Put the Doctor in a situation where he have to try and work out how to get out of it. That's fine. That's okay. That's fine. So eventually, the Doctor says to the girl's father, can you help do something? He wants him to do something. So he disappears and ends up, eventually, he puts a virus, all these machines that come round, puts a virus in them. And in other words, takes over all these machines. Ruby comes back. But the one thing, this is another good thing, I thought it was okay. I mean, there might be some people that thought, no. But I thought this was a good thing. the doctor says he's, when he says inside him, or something like that, means that, in other words, I don't know, DNA or something, and sends it through those cables, right? Of course, that's when it affects the machines and Ruby's saved and all that. And then the machines go and of course he says, you know, some Bible and all this. Then everything's fine, you know, and talking, and of course the doctor's always, you know, doesn't want to stay in one place or that. Go. He says, well, we've got to go now and all that. And then turns around and they talk. And something else he says, which the 12th Doctor, the 13th Doctor and the 14th Doctor never said. Right? But this Doctor, the 15th Doctor, says, oh, when he says, oh, I'll be back, check up, you know, see how things are going, and then says, oh, we'll have fish fingers and custard. Really? Just because Matt Smith's doctor had fish fingers and custard doesn't mean that they put it in the script for this person, for this actor. Seriously. Now remember, none of the other three past selves said anything about fish fingers and custard, but this doctor says, oh, we'll have fish fingers and custard. Now, of course, okay, fair enough. Now, there was a time. Now, the thing is, sometime in the next couple of months, I'm going to start building the TARDIS and the console walls, because I'm going to be doing my own Doctor Who fan film, right? But I've got to get all the bits and pieces and all that, and I'll actually probably get a guitar or electric guitar or something, because I have to teach myself how to play, right? But end up having, my daughter, oh yeah, I remember that, you know, see if I could still play, because there was a few, it was the 12th generation and that. So I suppose in a way that's all right. But the thing is, the TARDIS landed on a planet, and at that time there's a war going on. But of course, the ones that are fighting in this war, they're fighting amongst themselves. Now you'd think, oh, the Doctor would check, right? Find out what planet they're on, right? Not open the doors, did you hear that? And then goes running towards where here's the screen. So, I mean, to me, it wasn't a bad episode, but there was just a couple of things that, no. Especially when the father, this is something else, the father says at the end of the message, kiss, kiss. Now, never really known any father to put kiss kiss on the end. Or maybe because his loved ones and all that. But not really any need to put that at the end of the message. But I guess the thing I'm trying to say is this episode didn't seem woke. It just seemed to be a bit, I'd say odd. Because whatever planet the TARDIS lands on, and they don't even know what planet it is, or the Doctor always checks and always uses a sonic screwdriver, not a sonic remote, and checks, goes, now if he had checked with his sonic remote, he would have not picked up, oh, all this landmines, better be careful. And sort of called out, are you alright? But no, he goes running towards where the screen was and ends up, as you can see, there, steps on a landmine. None of the other doctors would just do a silly thing like that. They'd always check. Okay, you know. But, you know, as I said, it wasn't a bad episode to me. I mean, other people might think, you know, it was. But to me, it wasn't a bad episode. There's just a couple of things that you know, Doctor should have, you know, checked. Because the other two episodes, all with the babies, I found the monster with every episode disgusting. The monster's made from buoys. It was, and then you've got the second episode where something with the timeline. But anyway, as I said, with this episode, I didn't mind it. It was all right. It was okay. To me, it was a sort of a good episode. But the thing is, the Doctor never just runs out and steps on the landmine. Always checks. Because the thing is, open the door. Any of the other doors open the door. So, did you hear that sentence? Get out the sonic screwdriver or his sonic remote and check, you know, and go, seems to be landmines on this planet. Better be careful. You know, and have the sonic screwdriver. Lock on the ground. Not run. Oh, just run towards where the scream is and land on a landmine. Oh, I've trod on a landmine. Oh no. Oh, Ruby, careful. But I just thought it was a bit silly for the Doctor to do that. because no other doctor would do that. They hear a scream. Naturally, they open up the door. Now, the thing is, what if they were on a planet that had no air? Or they're on a planet that they've never been on before. Check. The doctor always checks. Now, of course, a lot of the times you might have the shield, the force shield, right? Fair enough, right? So on, open the door. Oh, did you hear that? Doctor could get out a sonic screwdriver and check, because you don't know what's out there, and yet this doctor goes running towards the danger. Hears a scream, and instead of getting all these sonic remotes out and check and go, there's something, seems to be some landmines around here. Oh, I better be careful. And carefully running a little bit, carefully going towards where he hears the scream. Checking the ground. But his eyes are this way, straight up this way. And he's running. And ends up stepping on a bloody landmine. The doctor never makes that mistake. Never. Always checks. Because if the doctor's taken to a planet, the doctor always checks, making sure that there's no danger. Sometimes it might be a beautiful planet and think, oh, everything's fine, until they end up finding out that there's something sinister hiding in the shadows. That's fair enough, right? But if they're on a planet like this, you would naturally think that this doctor would check. As I said, he'd get the sonic screwdriver or the sonic remote and go, seems to be landmines on the ground. Better be careful. And sort of walk along, be walking along going, But he didn't check and ends up walking on the landmine. So on one hand it was good, on the other hand not so good. It sort of didn't seem to have woke in it. I mean, other people might say yes, it did, but I didn't find it sort of had woke in it. But I think the one thing, and I'm sure everyone's noticed this, that the doctor seems to be in other words, a little too chummy with his companion. Right? Now, to me, that's I've noticed. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this. As I said, it just seems to be a little bit too chummy. But anyway, I'm going to go now. But before I go, I know people will be doing a review on Doctor Who, this Doctor Who episode, and then naturally, they say, you know, it wasn't good and this. But to me, on one hand it was good, on the other hand not so good. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and yeah. So as I always say, don't forget to put a like, put a comment, share, subscribe, and there will be a stream. Probably after I've fixed up the video, and so take care guys, and bye now.